All right, so now what we're going to do something fun. We are going to play a game of myth or fact. So I'm going to read a couple of statements, and both of you have to decide if that is myth or fact. So you guys ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So my first statement is eating after a certain time causes you to gain weight. Myth or fact? So why is that a myth?
Well, again, part of it is everybody's different. And yes, there are some facts that eating too late can cause you to gain weight. But if you haven't eaten all day or haven't eaten for a while, I still would recommend eating. I would argue more of what you're eating, not the timing of your eating.
So let's say someone that worked all day, didn't have time to eat. They get home at like 8:30, 9, and that's the only time they have to eat. What would you recommend they do eat?
Proteins and healthier fats and keep their carbs pretty low type of an idea, because we don't want to bump up your insulin. It's easy to say one thing, everybody's different.
All right, so my next statement is fats are bad for you.
But could be this too,
Yeah.
depends on what the fats are. So you have to give them more specific than just in general fats.
So a bad fat that you can think of, or an unhealthy fat, would be example of that would be trans fat. And so trans fats are artificially made; they're man-made types of fats.
Basically, getting rid of processed food's a good thing.
Yes, exactly. And keep in mind that fats are an essential nutrient in our body, and they get a bad rap that's used as a derogatory term a lot of times to describe people, but it's actually a nutrient that our body needs.
So my next statement is diets don't work. And that is talking in terms of fad diets or quick diets, the ones that you see are like in a week, you will lose this much weight.
I hate the word diet, because unfortunately our society is, what are you giving up for a short period of time? We should look at it, the word diet means what are you habitually eating? So no matter what we're eating, it's a diet. But if we look at it as a fuel, we're trying to put in the right type of fuel. So that's how we should look at it, not what are we giving up for a short period of time, or I'm doing this trendy thing for a short period of time. We should be trying to put in the right type of fuel when you need it.
All right, so my last statement is, and this is a really popular thing going around kind of on social media, is a gluten-free diet healthier for you, and what does it mean to be gluten-free? So is that a myth or fact?
So people who are sensitive to gluten, or that have a gluten allergy, or that have celiac disease, for example, a gluten-free diet would be probably a better thing for you, just because, for example, like in celiac disease, it's an autoimmune disease, which when gluten is introduced into the body, those cells attack that, and they attack the inner lining of your intestines as well. So we're destroying the little
Alveoli.
Yeah, that's going to help absorb nutrients. And so if those aren't there, nutrients aren't going to be absorbed, which leads to deficiencies in those nutrients and can lead to those types of health problems. And so in that sense, I think, yes, gluten-free can be really good and vital even. In another sense, I feel like gluten for people who don't have those types of conditions can be, gluten-containing foods, such as like whole wheat flour. Those types of things can have really good nutrients in them, and vitamins and minerals, and fiber. Especially.
All right, so for my last two statements, I actually have some fun facts or myths about you two. So my first one is about Dr. Rigby. So does Dr. Rigby have a giant collection of Santa Clauses in his home? Myth or fact? So tell us about your Santa Claus collection.
Our Santa Claus collection, my wife and I got married right before Christmas, and somebody gave us some Santa Clauses. So every year what we do is we give each other a Santa Claus, and we've been married for almost 30 years, so we have a lot of Santas at our house. We have a large Christmas tree that's just nothing but Santas. We have a whole wall with a variety of different types of Santas, but we try not to get multiple of the same type. So it gets harder every year to kind of find one different Santa.
That's awesome. If you had to put a number on your Santa Clauses, how many would you say you have? Just a rough estimate.
If each of us only bought one Santa, that would be 60 Santas. We got more than that.
That's awesome. All right, so my next statement is about Jonathan. And the statement is, Jonathan once was in a tournament to qualify for the PGA Tour. Myth or fact? So tell us more about that. Is that like a dream you have?
Well, it's definitely one that I wish I would have pursued if I had the opportunity to and the maybe the brains to do that. I know my dad always joked with me and said, hey, you need to do this because I want to be your caddy. This is a big achievement for me. I once shot like a 2 under, I think it was like a 68 in high school. For those of you that are golfers, I wish I could have, gone further with that, but I didn't.
Well, thank you both so much for all the great information that you provided us. Thank you again for playing the game of Myth or Fact. It was fun learning that you have hundreds of Santa Clauses.
Probably.
And maybe one day you'll be in the PGA Tour. We never know.
Time.
But thank you everyone so much, and we all wish you a happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.